Okay, hello again folks, it's me, Mr. Weston, with a little bit more work on equations. A little bit different actually. I'm going to follow on from the previous video, stroke lesson, and I just want to talk about two different ways to solve the same question, because time and time again these types of questions cause issues, and I guess it's the way that you approach it, okay? I mentioned last lesson about isolating the term and then isolating the variable, but in some ways, when you do this sort of question here, that can cause issues. I'll just explain what I mean by this. So if you take a look at this question here, 23, take away 4x equals 7. Our job is to try and find out what x is. Okay, I get it. But how do we do that? Well, if we go about isolating the term is the minus 4x. And the problem with doing that is, if I just split this in two different ways, okay, this way. So if we just write 23 take away 4x equals 7 again for this method. If we isolate the variable you might be tempted to say is 4x, because actually all of this, the minus 4x. So what you're saying here is, if you're just going to leave the x on its own on the left hand side, you've got to get rid of the 23. So if you do that, now this is not the way I would normally do this question, but I'll just talk you through it. You take away 23. Which would mean taking away 23 from this side as well. So by subtracting 23 from both sides, you're getting rid of this. That will cancel. So you'll just be left with the minus 4x on the left. The problem is on the right hand side, you've got to do 7 take away 23. You're into negative numbers. And of course, no one likes negative numbers. What is 7 take away 23? Well, I'm not sure. I know what 23 take away 7 is. That's 16. So this must be minus 16. So again, this is the reason why I wouldn't do this method, although it is probably the quickest method to do it. Now what you're going to say is, minus 4 times something gives you minus 16. So, i.e., what we need to do is get rid of the minus 4 here. So minus 4 times x, or x times minus 4, we need to divide by minus 4. So if you do that to both sides, and you can see why I wouldn't want to do this normally, because it's all about negative numbers, that will leave you with x equals minus 16 divided by minus 4. Tricky, isn't it? It's minus divided by minus, they're basically going to cancel. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Now, you get the answer, x is 4. Nice straightforward answer. But it's easy to make a mistake with this and just muck up with your negative numbers, which is why I wouldn't do this method. I much prefer the method if I just do it here. I'll just write it down again. 23 take away 4x equals 7. Where you say 23, you're taking away something from it, you're left with 7. So if I strategically, I have to use my little finger here, cover up the 4x, 23 take away something is 7, that something must be 16. So it's actually, what I'm seeing now is that the 4x has the value of 16. Now, of course, we know that's going to be very similar to what we had previously, but you can see here, okay, 23 take away something is 7. That's just jumping straight down to 4x is 16. Of course, 4 times 4 is 16, and so you can get x is equal to 4. That's probably the way that I would do this question. What I was saying to you last lesson is this, final time of writing the same question down. We don't write negatives. And so basically move the negative to the other side because we've got negative terms. So add 4x onto both sides. If I do that, I'm left with 23 equals 7, add 4x. Get the idea? Now we take away the 7 from both sides. This is the safe way to do it. You end up with 16 equals 4x. Of course, that is the same as 4x equals 16. Just written the opposite way around. And of course now, if we just divide by 4 both sides here, I think actually I was writing little circles, wasn't I? I should have done that. I've forgotten to do that this lesson. All right, it's naughty of me. I'll just do all that here so you can see what I'm doing. That's just me redoing my working from earlier, trying to be consistent. So anyway, that comes back down to 4 equals x. So all in all, you get the same answer. So that's all I wanted to really talk about for this one, this lesson today. Second question out of 2, 36 take away x over 3 is 29. I guess, which way would we do this? What's the best method to do it? Well, I wouldn't certainly want you to do this first method. I don't like it, okay? So that, to me, is a no-no, all right? I think this method, if you can do it, is a happy method. I like it. And this one's okay. I'm not going to lie to you. There's nothing particularly wrong with that. So that would be a smiley face as well. So there, the methods I really want, not the one where you get rid of 36. So for this one here, what should we do? 36 take away something is 29. I think what I would do is basically say here, cover it up. 36 take away something is 29. The something must be equal to 7. I think that's the easiest way to do it. And so x over 3 is equal to 7. Of course, now I can say, well, hold on, what number divided by 3 gives me 7? If I just times by 3, both sides, that will give me x is equal to 21. I think that's the best method. If you want to do the other way, it's okay just to move the term to the other side. And so move this, so add x over 3 to both sides. If you do that, we end up with 36 equals 29, add x over 3. Now we can just take away the 29 from both sides. It's so much easier because it means you're avoiding dealing with negative numbers. That just gives you 7 equals x divided by 3. It's the same as what we had before. Of course, if we times 3 both sides, we end up with 21 equals x. And that's our final answer. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of questions to do today that are similar to this, okay, where you've got to deal with this negative and move it away. I think that's the big thing. In theory, you can have obviously answers that are negative, and if you have that, I'm afraid you end up left with a negative number, but I'm not pushing this or rushing this. We'll deal with those maybe another day, but I want some questions similar to this for you to do for the time being. Okay, look after yourselves. I'll speak to you soon. Take care.